Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the National Association of FHA Consultants and the 203K in the Box Power Team Tech Call for June 2017. This is your host, Catherine Hall, creator of the 203K in the Box system and executive director of the National Association of FHA Consultants, welcoming you on this morning's call. This is our monthly technology call, and in this call, we're going to devote ourselves to a discussion of features of the Genesis system and of applications and usages necessary for technical work in 203K consulting. When we want to talk about methodologies or interactions, marketing, lender, borrower, contractor, communication, and outreach, those type of discussions will be held in the monthly All Power Team web conference call, which is the fourth Thursday evening from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So thank you all for being on the call today. Today's discussion is going to be about draws and working within Genesis to do draws. And we're also going to spend a great deal of time this morning discussing electronic signatures. One of our members was offered to provide electronic signatures on the documents before closing to the lender, and the lender was just ecstatic. Wow, thank you so much for facilitating that for me. And so this is something that is not a requirement of the consultant, but it is absolutely a recommendation that you include provision of electronic signature, and we're going to show you how you can easily and effectively do it. But first, I want to reach out to you and share with you some recent upgrades to the NAFAC system, to the Genesis Rehab Reporting System. And as you can see here, I'm in the company side. Okay, so this is my practice company. And so I'm in Company Management Dashboard. And here you can see that now you as the company manager have the ability to create the password. It's no longer automatically generated. You actually now have the opportunity to actually, whoops, can you see my screen now? Let's see if you see it now. Okay, great. So you should be seeing it now. I thought you had been seeing it before, so let me just back it out. We're here at the NAFAC, National Association of FHA Consultants, Power Team Tech Call. We had a little technical glitch, and we want to thank everyone for being on the call this morning. And our technical topic today is draws and paper flow. And the first thing I want to share before that is I want to discuss for you the fact that we have now provided you with the ability to manually generate passwords. It used to be that the password was automatically created, and when it was created, it was then emailed to the individual, and some people were not getting those emails, or they couldn't see all the characters, they couldn't figure it out. It was a mess, but we were concerned that you would be accidentally creating the same password that you are using for your company, for you as the consultant, and that would cause your system to crash. So now we've set up a new program thanks to Howard Ross, programmer extraordinaire, the great and powerful Ross. And he's made it so that if you try to create a password that already exists in any other user in your group, in your company, it will send you an error. So here you can see that I have a sample consultant here, and I'm going to reset this password. So now I can actually create the password. And I can change it at any time, and you can see once you submit the updated password for the consultant, an email will be sent to the consultant and the company email address. So that's going to give you that backup to know what that password is. Okay, and so now we have successfully updated that password, so we're not going to save that. And now for contractors, I know many of you have been concerned, oh, my contractor can't get his password, he doesn't know, he didn't know it, he's forgot it, I never saw it. So you don't have to even worry about him getting an email. You can actually send him an email of your own. So here you see I have Joe's Company, and it's one of my email addresses. So I'm going to set the password. So I'm just typing the password. Now, one thing that I might suggest that you do is what I'm doing. For all of the contractors that I have, I've actually reset their passwords to the word contractor, so that nobody has any problems. If their password is just defaulted, I just set it when I create the account, I just set the password at contractor. So I email the contractor, your login for Genesis is my company code, which is your company ID, your email address, and the word contractor. So you click the contractor link, and then you hit contractor. So here you can see for this contractor, I'll log out. And then when I log in, enter the company code. So you're going to tell them, hit the company code, enter contractor. Oops. And we don't have any difficult password requirements. You don't have to have a special character. You don't have to have a capital letter. You don't have to have, all that stuff is not there. So here I just entered that, and now you can see that this project is in the draw request, not submitted yet. Okay, so this is leading up to our discussion about draws. When a contractor is ready to have a draw, you want him to go into Genesis and submit his bid directly there. If they don't know what they can bid on, you can tell them that inside the work write-up, they can view, inside their portal, they can actually view the actual completed work write-up in PDF format. They can download it to their computer, they can open it up from their mobile phone, whatever device, they can access it there. And so here is the ability for him to go into the work write-up and see everything that needs to be done. There's a cover picture of the property. And as I've mentioned before, because this is for testing purposes, you see it still says demonstration version. If your software, when you open up a PDF, says that, it means you need to contact us to activate, reactivate, or unlock your account for some reason. So here is the things that this contractor has the ability to submit draws on. And there's, you see the material and labor for every line item. There's the total project cost. There's the total, we have 3 draws for this job. We have a 15% contingency. He can see everything. And there's the consultant services agreement. The fees, initial draw request form, identity of interest, and the homeowner and contractor agreement that he signed. So if he says, well, I don't know what I need to draw on, he can, for the first draw, he can actually print. Remember, this demonstration release will not be there. He can print this off to be able to handwrite what he wants to then enter it into Genesis. Okay? So the contractor has access to the work write-up document in its entirety. So next you need to tell him he needs to submit a draw request. And as you can see, it says draw request not submitted. And then he's going to hit enter. And I don't know about you, but I don't know how we could make this easier. So again, this is our tech call. We don't require a lot of interaction because we want to make sure we have ample opportunity to complete all the training for the day. But tell me if this doesn't look easy to you. Raise your hand if this doesn't look about as easy as it could get on telling them what to do. Okay? So it couldn't get any easier than this. So now what they do is step 1, enter the draw request, and it takes them right to that section. So here you can see that this person has never had a draw, so this is our first draw. And so let's say we're going to take here under roofing, and we're going to put in $1,000. Under plaster and drywall, we're going to put in, let's say he's not sure, we're going to put in 20%. Actually, that's 0.2%, so it's a 20%. Decorating, we're not going to do anything. And plumbing, we're going to put in 30%. So now he knows exactly what he's submitting, and now all he has to do is hit click to save draw request. Wait for it. All right, so now it's submitted. Then preview and print the PDF. So now he can generate a preview of the draw so you can see what it looks like. And there you can see it coming up. So there's all the numbers. There's page 2. And here's the lien waiver that he needs to know that he has to sign. So these are all the documents that he has to sign. But don't worry about signatures just yet. Now, the next thing is, if he has a change order, step 1B, enter change order invoice. Now, create a change order invoice. If you do not require a change order invoice, leave this section blank. So now let's say he wants to do a change order and it's additional cost for permit. Let's see, I think, is there a category for electric? Yeah. He didn't draw for plumbing. Additional cost for permit for plumbing, section $150. Okay, so we're going to click to save that change order invoice. Now, we're going to print and preview our draw request. And there you can see it coming up on the screen. And there you can see his change order is generated. So now it gives the name of the borrower, the property address, his name as the consultant, the date, and to whom it's sent, which is the consultant, and it puts your name in, and then it puts that information, and then it signs with his name. Okay? Can't get it now. There is no lien waiver created for this because when a contractor submits a change order, it is being submitted for pre-approval. It does not get submitted for payment at this time. So now we're going to close that out, and you can see the next step is finalize and submit the draw request. Once he finalizes it, he cannot change it, but you can add more money to the draw or alter it in any way after they get to the property. All right, so let me pause for just a second here because I want to make a note because I want to add a sentence to here. You cannot change this draw request after submitting them to submitting it to the consultant. However, if there are changes to the line items, the consultant can do it at the draw inspection. I want to make sure they can know that. So under the contractor draw page, I'll have our great and powerful Ross add the wording, consultant can make any needed changes to draw amounts at the appointment. At or following the appointment. Okay, all right, at the appointment's fine. Bingo. Finalize and submit draw request. Now you can see the contractor draw request has been submitted and he actually can view what he sent. All right, and so that is the beauty of this. So now we're going to log out. So we're going to log back in. And enter in as consultant. Let's see, I think it's, hang on for a second, I got to figure out what the username and password is. I lose my mind all the time. And I have to open that up now. Hang on for 1 second. The consultant login is 203kqueen@nafag.org. Okay, great. So let me go to that Gmail account. Now, what I want to show you now is this. You see this number 1? Okay, that means 1 Google notification. And the reason why this is, I wanted to mention G Suite to you is because when you have a G Suite profile, you do not have to have a whole bunch of emails because you pay $5 a month for every email account, every user email that you have. But you don't have to create all these different emails. This is the cool part. So we talked about having a separate email account called 203k at your domain name. Well, if you have a G Suite account, one of the advantages, the benefits is you can have additional aliases. All right, so you can see here I have an alias. All right, that is actually an alias right there, 203k Queen. And this alias will be able to come up so I can send an email to this address, 203k Queen, but it will be directed to my main email account. So you don't have to have a whole bunch of emails and have to open up a whole bunch of inboxes. All of these aliases will be able to show up on one inbox. How many of you think that that's cool? So I'm going to put that back over there. So now I'm going to go to mail. So here you can see on my inbox, Joe's company has submitted a draw request, and there's the forgotten password request we talked about. But here you can see Catherine Brooks has submitted a contractor draw request on behalf of Joe's company. This email was sent to 203K Queen, but it came up on my main email account. So when I open the email, I can see who it was sent to. I can even reply using that email address. So now this is the, please log in to your Genesis account to review and import the contract draw request amounts into your project. Thank you and good luck. Best regards, Genesis admin. So now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to log in as the consultant. And now I'm going to go to the project. And there it is, Test Compton. And here you can see contractor draw request, and there you can see draw request 1. Now, completed draw request is 0 because we haven't closed this, we haven't filled it yet. But now when you are preparing your draws, what you're going to do is you're going to open the PDF version of his draw. Now, forget the demonstration stuff on it, that wouldn't be there in yours. Now, we have actually changed the way we are procedurally handling draws. And it's actually been working out very, very well. And may I submit this to you? Because many times, if they sign the draw before you get there, which used to be our procedure, that we had to have signed draw paperwork from the borrower and the contractor before we went out to the property. Okay? And this posed a problem because when we went to the property, we found that things were not the way they wanted to be on the draw. They added more work or stuff didn't get done, etc. And so we have actually had to go resend it, get new signatures, cut and paste. It got silly. So what we've decided to do and have been testing it out for the last month very successfully, especially considering our protocols for doing draw inspections do not require the borrower to participate in any of the physical inspections except for the first and last. We require that the contractors that all borrowers or primary borrower, if it's a secondary non-occupant borrower on the loan, we don't worry about them. But all borrowers must participate and be present at the first inspection where we explain the process, what's going to happen, the fact that they need to personally review the work the contractor is drawing down prior to the appointment, etc. We require them to be present at the first draw. Then any interim draws, they don't have to be there, just us and the contractor, with the understanding that they are going to make sure they're going to, by their signature on that draw, they are personally acknowledging that they are satisfied with the work. And this is one of the reasons why I've started recording draws and on video. And a matter of fact, in the bonus content for July, you will be getting a DVD with me having performed 3 draws in one day, an initial draw, an interim draw, and a final draw. So you'll get to see the process of doing all 3 types of draws that I did in one day. And that's going to be, and with that bonus content, you will also be receiving the actual draw paperwork that was submitted for the project. So that being said, we don't need to have this imported into our system. All you do is, in my case, I download this to the folder and save it in my folder for that client. And again, let's briefly remind everyone that when they are working within, and a couple people I talked to yesterday on coaching calls, and I saw that their process for storing information for their 203K projects was not well supported for them. So as you can see, in my Dropbox folder, I have a team folder, and I have a 203K, a Team 203K folder. And the reason being is because the 203K projects, they extend longer than 1 month. My regular team folder, we have our inspections by year in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And as you can see, they're broken down by month, which makes sense because each inspection is done during that specific month. However, for 203Ks, as I explained to one of our members on a coaching call last night, for 203K activities, the project continues into multiple months. So you don't want to be in a situation where you are having to go and find that file in a previous month. So in our 203K team folders, and I've explained this before, in our active projects, we have active, closed, completed. You can see we're going to move this out into another folder. Dead projects. There you can see in each folder, we have what is known as a master 203K projects folder. Inside that folder are 5 subfolders. Now this master summary of funds report, I'm going to delete that because we no longer need that because that's now generated automatically by Genesis. So we have pre-closing, and in the pre-closing, in the master folder, we have the before photos folder. Then in the contractor's bid folder, we have a place to put all the bids. Permits and certifications, we have a place to put those. Draws and changes, we have, again, I'm going to delete this. We don't need this anymore. Yay. Here we have our change order folder and draws folder. And then here is email and communications. So any email, any saved a multi-recorded call, any conversation that I receive, a letter, anything, I'm going to scan it in and put it in there. So my suggestion is that you create a master 203K projects folder, and then whenever you have a project, all you have to do is just copy it and then rename it to the property address, and it will look the same every time. So all of our project folders look the same. Okay, and that's how you want to manage your projects. So the first thing you do when you have your project folder, so where's my, we're going to rename this to sample project. So it's going to go down at the end of the folder. Okay, so now we're going to go into here and we're going to go to our draws folder, and I'm going to say, I'm going to download this or actually print to PDF. So here I'm going to save as a PDF. And I'm going to put it in that folder. Team folder, active. And then under draws, you can see, go to draws, and you see we've already started you off with the draw one folder. Inside that folder is draw one photos. So I'm going to save this as contractor submitted draw one and save. Then I'm going to print this off the day before or the morning of the appointment and take all this paperwork with me. You must see that now I have a change order invoice that's going to be submitted for pre-approval. And by printing all this off, I take it with me. I don't print the lien waiver, and I will not, probably don't print page 2. Actually, I do print this because then I scan it back into my assistant and then she copies what I write as my paper file. And so I will print the page 1, the page 2, any change orders, and that's it. So I'm going to print these pages off and take them with me in the field. Okay, so I've gone out into the field and then I've actually come back. So let's say that we've come back from the project. We are now doing our draw. And the first thing we need to see is the draw package cover page. Now actually, even though it's the cover, this is really the last thing you're going to create. And so this probably should be last. But because it is the first page that people see in the package, I have it listed as first. And also it will remind you of the things you need to do. So here it reminds you that you need permits because you indicated on the project that you did need, that you have permits. Now if you did not need permits, you're just going to put a 0 here. And you're putting down here that you do have a pre-approval change order because you can't have a post-approval change order because it's the first draw. So here I'm going to do change order submission prior to requesting payment. So now we're going to submit all 3 draws, all permits. and we're going to hit pre-approval. Now remember, the contractor will need to have emailed you, in addition to you receiving electronically through Genesis his draw request, he needs to email you all permits before you go out to the property. So then you hit update data. So now let's just generate a quick preview. So here's the cover page. It's got the lender's information, and it also has my pre-approval requesting prior to payment, includes description of reason for change, costs signed by borrower and contractor, not yet signed by consultant. In other words, you're not saying it's done, and then after you do the next draw, if that work is finished, then you're going to submit a post-approval. So now you may say, well, extra costs or permit, why can't you just go ahead and get it? Because it's the process that all change orders need to be pre-approved before payment. Okay? Could you submit that as as a payment at the time of the draw? Yes, but don't. Now, the next thing is the draw request form. So you went out to the property, and you see this button here that says View Contractors Numbers. I'm going to really highlight this so that those who are watching this recording, if your contractor did not submit numbers, this will not be here. But this is key because this is how you're going to see what you're going to import from the contractor. Okay? So now you can view his numbers, but you cannot edit them. You can view what he sent, and then if you need to make changes, then you hit import. Wait for it. And now that button is gone because they're no longer there because you have imported them into your place. That's why I left that space circled so you could see that once you've imported them, or if he never submitted them, you won't see anything in that field. Okay? We're just going to erase that. Now, let's say you got out there and in addition to the roof, because he forgot to put it, he did pull his electrical permit. So you're going to add that to the project. And let's say that he thought he was going to get 30% of the plumbing done, but he actually got 50%. So you're going to increase that. And let's say that he was going to do the plaster and drywall, ripping it off or whatever, and he got none of that done. You can take that off. So you can make any kind of edits that you want. Update request amounts. So now that that's done, it's been updated. You saw that brief message. You're going to go back, and now you're going to enter the information on draw page 2. Now, you can see that the button draw inspection is automatically checked. Now, listen closely, please, because this is very important and it might seem a little confusing. Do not click the change order button at this time. This is clicked only when you are creating and submitting the HUD change order form, which indicates to the lender that you have inspected the work, because that's what that form is saying. At this time, you are only submitting the contractor's invoice. Okay? Does everybody get that? Raise your hand if you get that, because that is so key that people don't seem to get that. And I really want to just pause and make sure everybody understands you do not click the change order button until you're ready to have him paid. All right? I don't see all hands. Get your hands up there, guys. I want to make sure everybody understands this. And I want to thank, I want to give us a quick shout out to my personal 203K project manager, Peggy Salamando, who is on the call today. Peggy has been doing 203Ks with me since 2001. Peggy has worked with me. She has worked with me. I don't say for me because we've been so close. She's like a member of the personal family as well as the company family. Peggy's first day of employment. Peggy, raise your hand if you remember your first day of work. Yeah, Peggy's first day of work was 9/11/2001. It was a very unpleasant day for all of us. We were in the middle of her employee welcome orientation meeting, and we heard about 203K and from one of our inspectors in the field, and it was just so sad that we just stopped the orientation and said, hey, let's just come back tomorrow and start over again, especially considering that Peggy had a lot of family in New York and she was quite concerned about it. So 9/11/2001 was a horrible day for the entire country, but for me, I will always remember it with a small smile, because that was the day Peggy Salamando joined my company. And so now, here we are in 2017, 16 years later, and she's still with me, and she still says that being on these calls, these webinars, she still, even after all these years of doing it, gets something new that helps her to be better. So I say that to you to say, do you have a partner in your business? Someone who does back office work for you, someone who handles paperwork for you with your 203K, or you're planning to have handle your paperwork. Please include them on this webinar. Invite them on the calls. Okay, give them the link. This is an open link. We do not restrict it to just you guys. So please have your fellow employees join us. We welcome them, and we are really excited about it. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, the actual 203K Discovery Days in October is going to be a much more expanded event. So even if you attended the one in October, in May, you may want to plan to come to this one as well. We are going to be having the third day of the event is going to be a back office training. And we're going to teach all of the people who attend that what type of softwares you need to have, what type of programs work best for you, and we're literally going to train back office personnel or actual consultants who are wanting to know what to do with their back office. So that's what the third day will be devoted to, is back office administration. So I digress, because I saw Peggy on this call this morning, and she raised her hand when I asked the question, does everybody understand you don't click this button? So thanks, Peg, for being on the call. So now, the only thing that you always must include on page 2 of the draw, if you do nothing else on page 2 of the draw, you click the button that says no non-compliance, and you add the text, all repairs completed as per draw request. So as you can see, it automatically popped up because I entered it once before, and it will always be there. Everything else nothing else needs to be added. All of these other buttons and options that are available to you, unable to make inspection, correction is essential as explained below, acceptable variation as described, on-site improvements acceptably completed. So now these are buttons that you click off based upon other conditions. Now here's the thing you need to know. With a 203K project, the buttons over here that says acceptable variations as described below, this is what you would use when you have a pre-approved change order. On-site improvements acceptably completed, that is never checked because it's never allowed. A contractor is never allowed to do, in most cases, an on-site improvement. All improvements that he does must be pre-approved. And so you might want to point that out at your first draw. Hey guys, you see this where it says on-site improvements acceptably completed? That doesn't apply to you. That applies to other types of programs that use this form. Otherwise, I've actually had a contractor say, well, what do you mean I can't do that? It's right there on the form that I can do an on-site improvement and you can approve it. So make sure you let them know that doesn't apply to you. Okay? So that does not apply to anybody. Here, this one does. If you get out to the property and the consultant, for me, the situation was the consultant and the contractor was supposed to put insulation in the attic crawl space, blown-in insulation. And I stuck my head up there, and I saw only the smallest amount of insulation installed. And it was like clumped up at the entrance, and it had not been spread around evenly throughout the attic. And I wasn't happy with it. So first thing I did was reduce the amount of money I gave him for that line item. And then the second thing I did was I actually clicked the button, correction essential as explained below, do not conceal until re-inspected, unable to make, and then I can put down here 2B. So this is actually 3. And this one here is 2B. Insulation needs to be evenly distributed through attic area. Now, the contractor's put on notice, don't close this up, don't seal this up, because I've got to re-inspect it. This is what it is, and I'm telling the lender exactly what I'm doing as well. So these boxes, unable to make inspection, explained below. So unable to make inspection, let's say it's raining and you can't go up on the roof. So you're not going to pay the contractor. This is why I didn't pay him. Okay, or I'm going to give them half of it, but I can't do the inspection because I couldn't get up there. So, or anything other, if there's any kind of, if you have to change a contractor, and one of our members had a coaching call yesterday and asked, what do I do if I have to change a contractor? This is the change. You will put it here as a change order, and then you're going to make a notation that this is a final draw for the purpose of terminating a contractor and closing out. And that's not a final inspection. It's not a contingency inspection. It's not a draw inspection. It's a contractor termination inspection. So that would be the other. Okay? So submit data. So let me take off this X, marks the spot. So now I've keyed that in. And now I'm going to go back, and everything is now checked off. You see, this is now checked off as green because there is no change order to process, so you bypass it. The lien waiver is automatically created, and now you're going to upload your draw inspection photos. So now, with the draw inspection photos, the first thing I want to let you know is that you want to have a software on your computer called Fast Image Resizer. It's fabulous. Fast Image Resizer. You see the little box that opened up? You actually can literally drag an entire folder of photos into here, and they will then be reduced to whatever size you want to crop them to. May I suggest 800 by 600? Do not worry, it will not affect the original photos. It will create a new folder with the updated reduced size pictures. So you still get to keep your biggies if you want. So here's how this works. So Fast Image Resizer, I have shared this URL with people in the past, but I'm going to post it up here right now for everybody. It's in my downloads. And let me go to that for a second. Okay, so there you can see, I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to share I'm going to put this in the Skype group, okay? So I'm copying, I'll drag and drop it into Skype. So if you're noticing here in the Genesis support group, there you can see the Fast Image Resizer. I'm dragging and dropping it into the Skype group. Okay, so there you can see it. Use this to resize photos for use in your Genesis reports. Done. Okay, so let's go back. So now I'm going to go to a folder that has pictures. So now you're looking at a folder where I did the first inspection. And on the bonus content, you will also be receiving on that DVD the URL to actually view this complete folder. Okay, you'll be able to view it but not edit it. So here is my project. This is my pre-closing activity. There you can see we had a ton of stuff. Here's where we put in all the permits. So Peggy got the permits and she uploaded them and stored them here. Why? Because in addition to submitting them at the first draw, you must also submit them again for the final, and this way I don't have to search through them in my first draw. They're available to me. And here is here's my change orders, and there's change order 1, a cost saving submitted, and here's change order 2, it's approved. And this is actually at the first draw. We've only done one draw. And so they submitted a change order for pre-approval. So when Peggy got the pre-approval from the lender, she noted it on the actual change order. So here's the first draw, and here's the first draw photos. And there you can see the resized photo folder right there. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do it again to show you how to resize the images. So basically what I'm going to do is so if I actually move this folder out, I'm going to cut and I'm going to paste this out here. Now, for a reason being, I want to show you how you can move an entire photo, and I don't want to resize photos. So I open up the Fast Image Resizer. Okay, let's move it down so I can move it. There we go. And I'm going to just take my entire Draw One photo folder, okay, which has nothing but images in it now. So I'm going to go back, open up Fast Image Resizer. I'm going to literally drag the entire folder here. And there you can see how quickly it's resizing all those images. So whether or not you think you need to resize your images, I would suggest making sure that you resize them. And so now these photos are all being resized and they're going into this folder. So here you see a new folder is being created with the resized images. So as I said before, it does not damage any of your images. Nothing is permanently changed. A new folder is created. And there, it is now just about done. So I'm just going to ignore that because we're going to use the folder we have. So now you can choose 25 pictures or up to 25 megabytes. So let me show you what that means. So I'm going to go back out to the project in question. So here you see me going to draws. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it looks like when you use the photos and what the error message that comes up. So here's a trick that I do when I'm doing my photos for Genesis. Because I can only upload 25 images at a time, I make sure that my screen holds 25 images. So you see how I'm dragging it around? So now I take the first image, hold down the Shift key, and I go down to my 25th image. Well, actually 24th, because that folder's not included. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops, one too many. Bingo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so I click that. I hold the Shift key down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now you can see I've selected those 24 images, and then I hit open. And now you see the error. 25 megabytes of data is maximum per load. You have 25. You have 25. I must have over 25. Okay, so even though it says 25 selected, it's probably like 25.5. It's actually up to 25. So I'm going to go back and do it again. Now, you could do smaller groups, one at a time, or you could use your resized folder. So let's see what we do now with the resized images. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So it's the same images. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I click that. I hit open. And now it works. Boom. And so now the photos are going to be uploaded. So typically you won't be taking more than about 20, 25 pictures or less on a draw inspection. So that's why we chose that number as our arbitrary number. It wasn't arbitrary. Typically, in a typical house, you're not going to take more than about 25 pictures. You go in each room, take a picture per draw. And if you do need to upload more pictures, no worries. You can just add more. Okay? So now let's go back. We have our pictures in. If you had not already done so, you'll need to indicate who the disbursement lender is, and if it's a different company from your loan broker in many cases. So if your loan is closed by Alpha Mortgage Company, and Alpha Mortgage Company is not funding the loan, they may be selling it to Gateway Funding or Freedom Mortgage or RMN or Gateway or whoever, then you need to pick that company and choose who that lender is going to be. So if it's Freedom, it will be in many cases different from the company that is the one who closed the loan. All right, so now I've got my disbursement company. And at the first draw, you need to put the name of the disbursement officer. And they're going to tell you who that is when you get your paperwork. Before you submit the draw, you need to find out who it is. So we're going to say test disbursement. We're going to assign her or him. and that's my test, and we're going to hit update. And now we're going to go back. So it's very simple. So now all of my boxes are checked. Your fee invoice is automatically created with your draw fee. When you do create the actual change order form that says that you have inspected the work, then you're going to go into the fee invoice, and then and only then do you add your change order fee line item. So let's say you did 3 change orders in that one draw. So you're going to say 1 through 3. You do not get to charge a $100 fee for every change order you process unless it required a separate for every visit that initiated the change order. Does everyone understand that? Raise your hand if you get that. It's basically 1 change order fee per draw inspection. Now, could you go out to the property and do a change order inspection only? You could, but why would you want to go out and just get $100? I would not do it. I would tell the contractor I cannot inspect that work or pay it until I come back out for the next draw. Okay? So now we're going here. And so I'm going to put my $100 fee here because that's the max that HUD's allowed for change orders. Now, I'm not going to submit this because we're not doing that for this draw. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to go back out, unchanged. So now we're going to print and preview our draw inspection report without our signature. Now, what's going to happen is this is going to have that word demonstration all over it, so don't be freaked out again by that. And so what we're going to do with this is we're going to now use this, and there you see sample lender, renovation loan processor. Your information is at the top. Your email is at the top. The date, from who, the consultant ID number. If they had provided you the loan number and the case number, you put it there. And I'm going to show you how you can add that at any time. This is the first page, second page. There's all of your comments. Here is the lien waiver. Here's your fee. Here's your picture. So now what's missing? The change order invoice. Exactly. And here's how we do that. So we're going to print this and save as PDF. And this is why Acrobat Reader is so valuable. So this is home, and this was sample project. You put the property address, Boulevard, completed, draw. So you're going to save this. And then you're going to now, so you see we go here, we've saved it. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to go and we're going to open that folder. So we're going to go back to our sample project. And here we're going to go to the draws. So now we go into draws, draw 1, and we have the one submitted by the contractor and the one that we had. So we're going to open them both in Acrobat. So I posted on the Power Team site in the NAFAC group instructions for using Acrobat Reader and how to make changes to the preferences so that your forms don't look messy and it makes it difficult to create the signature files. So I'm going to briefly refer to that now so that you all who are on the call who didn't get a chance to look at it on Skype will know what to do. Or if that Skype message is rolled up and you can't get to it. So what you do is you go to Edit. First of all, you must be a member and you must be logged in. Right, Oni? Oni had a coaching call late last night, and God love him. As I said, he got up at 4 o'clock this morning to be on our call, and we couldn't get his Acrobat to work, and he called them, finally got a phone number and called them, and after an hour and a half, it turned out that there was a glitch on their side, and they had to reset his whole account, but now it's working. So you hit the Edit button, you go to Preferences, you make sure you're in Forms, If it's showing up under any other category, click Forms, and then make sure that this box here that says automatically detect form fields is not clicked. So this field should not be clicked. Okay? Perfect. And then click OK. Because what that does, when it has the word detect forms, all these little boxes here, this is a very complicated and intelligent system. It actually considers, looks at all these and says, hey, this looks like this is a field that could be filled in with some numbers. I'm going to make it a field. And that's going to mess up your Center for Signature. So if you want more information on this, go to the Skype group, and you will see on the Skype group, there was a video I filmed. I created a brief training video tutorial yesterday on how to use it, and I walked through it in a 10-minute video. So now we've got our fields filled out, and we also have the sample project with all of our documents. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to combine this page with our full package by going to Tools, and hit Combine Files, and it's going to ask you the question, Add Open Files. That's why you had them both open. So you hit Add Files. You hit the Expand button so you can see all the pages that are going to be included in this draw. Then you click this Expand button. Okay? Now, we don't want any of these pages. All we want is this. So we're going to move this page here to right after the lien waiver for the draw, right before our fee invoice. And then we're going to delete all of these other pages. Now, because it's annoying and I hate this page, I always delete it. It's just the instruction page. You don't have, but it was required for us to produce it, but you don't have to produce it if you don't want to. If you want to save your lender some paper, you can delete that page. So now I have my full combined draw, including my pre-approval change order, and now I'm going to hit the Combine button. And now let's look at it. There's our cover, draw page 1, draw page 2, lien waiver, change order invoice, fee invoice, and photos. How many think that's cool? How many think that that is cool? All right, so now one of our members, really cool lady, she does a lot of 203K. She just joined us. Her name is Sherilyn. She was saying that she's now going to use DocuSign. Well, you pay for DocuSign just to sign a document. You pay for Adobe and you get all of this. So it's actually for $14.97 a month, you get everything as opposed to just a signature feature. So this is why I use this. So now this says the word binder. So now I'm going to delete that, and I'm not going to save changes. I'm going to delete this. I'm not going to save changes. And now I'm going to save as and rename this to completed contractor bid. All right, so I'm going to go to my folder. Whoops, where'd it go? Oh, it's over here. I'm sorry, I've got too many screens. Let me get to that. There it is. So now I'm going to save it as my completed bid. It's going to ask me if I want to replace it. And I'm like, yep. Now, the next thing that I want to do now is I want to add text in here. You see, I haven't edited or changed his original change order. I'm just putting it here. So I'm going to edit this PDF, actually comment on it. Add a comment. So now I'm going to add a text box. Pre-approval only. Please do not pay on this request. Now the box, I can make it bigger. I can make my text bigger because lenders don't read real good. All right, so now we've got pre-approval only, do not pay on this request. Please email and then put your email address in. So this is whatever my email address, xxx@yyy.com. So I'm going to make my assistant, we put pre-approval, so I'm going to actually teach you something new, guys. What I want you to do, I want you to say, attention, loan processor, draw, disbursement processor. Pre-approval only, do not pay. Please email blank, blank, blank at blank, 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 your approval notification as soon as possible. Bingo. Now, nobody can misread this, can they? Okay? So now we've got this added, so we can close this box out. And the next thing we're going to, so I'm going to save this because I want to make sure it's saved with that text in there. And now I'm going to send for signatures. So who needs to sign this? Well, my borrower, my contractor, Joe's company, and me. And here's the cool part. You now can include yourself in the signature distribution so that it will bring back everybody else's signature and then let you sign it. Because when you do not sign it before you send it, and then it comes back as a signed document, it is encrypted and you cannot add your signature to that encrypted document because you're altering a secure encrypted document. So what I want you to do is this. You hit send for signature, and then you hit the button that says prepare form. Don't be nervous, it's not complicated. So now here on page 1, okay, you see here, you need to sign here, so you can hit the right mouse key or just draw this down. So the right mouse key hits signature, and then it puts the box there, and you're going to say your name will be here. Whoops. Consultant. And who needs to sign this field? Sender. And the sender's email? Well, in this case, it's going to be required field, and then next field. So, and the date is already there. The next is who signs up here? Right mouse key, signature, drag and drop. All right, oops, sorry, hit the field. And so now this name, signature 2, is going to be borrower. And then the person signing that is going to be signer. And the signer's email, I'll just use one of my other emails. Required field, done. And then here is your date field. So you see the little calendar? You add your date. And so we're just, whoops, sorry, I keep hitting the wrong button. So this is borrower sign date. And it automatically will put that date in there. And so see how it automatically drops in the email address, and it's a required field. The next person that's going to sign is the contractor. So you're going to put in here, contractor, and now you need to change to signer 1 and put a new email address. I believe that's my test contractor email address. Let me double check it. So hold on for 1 minute. And let's check that. Hold on for a second. Second. I'm checking to see if that's the email address I can show you. Testcontractor@nafec.org. Perfect. So now you can check the properties, make sure it's correct. So it's testcontractor@nafec.org. It's a required field. Close. Field type is a signature file. Bingo. Close. Okay, co-contractor. Signature. Borrower. It's a signature. Sorry, I shouldn't have changed it to text. So that was my mistake. You keep it as signature. So this here, consultant, signature, signature, contractor, e-signature, good. Now the date. All right, and so now we have our test contractor. Down here at the bottom of the page, you are now here you have to put your signature here. Signature. And this is now you see the contractor signature's there, the contractor's date is there, and now this is the sender, and you see my email address automatically pops up. And then I put my date field. You don't have to go up and drag and drop. You can just hit the right mouse key and it automatically will be there for you. Pick who is signing it, and you're done on that section. Down here, once again, you have to sign it here. So we're just going to pick who's signing it, sender, and we're going to add the date is going to go right next to it. So I'm just going to put date, and it's going to be by sender. So now you're going to do that for every field. So for the contractor, he's going to put in, this is actually his signature. So this is going to be a signature and the date. So we're going to select sign one. And then the next thing we're going to add is the date, obviously. Sign one. And here is where he has to print his name and title. So this is another thing. So you're going to type in name. That's where he has to put his name. And it will automatically be generated from the email account, signer one. And then you're going to put in his title, and he has to enter his title. Okay? The same things for this. You're going to put both the borrower's signature and the contractor's signature on this change order. I'll just real briefly do that. And we're going to do this for the borrower. And we can add a text line underneath it that says borrower. So we actually can just write the text. And here you can see this here, little text box. We can add a text field right underneath it and write the word, actually pre-fill, and it's going to be borrower. And there's your pre-filled. Okay? So now that's a little complicated, so don't do that. Don't worry about that. You actually can just write a text box. Take it and write underneath it in text. Oops, no, you can't do that. Sorry. Delete. So that's the borrower signature, and then you're just going to add next to it the contractors. Because it should be, the contractor should be up here under his name. So you put that right there, and you're going to select the contractor. Okay? So then you've got everything done. So page one has your signature. Draw page two has all those signatures. The lien waiver has the contractor's name, date, printed name, and title. This needed a signature. Nothing needed there. Then we hit the button that says send for signature. Now we're going to, it's ready to send. We're going to upload and add our recipients. So what's happening now is it's processing this file, and so there you see it automatically puts the individuals in this file, and they're going to be ordered in the order that they're listed. So signer comes before signer one. And so you can see all the different people who are here. So please review and complete Sample Project Boulevard's completed draw. Okay, and so this is telling them that they need to review and complete it. Now, what I'm going to suggest that you do is now we can hit send. Hang on for a second. I'm going to, oops, it's taking a minute, so pause. It says not responding, it's processing. So I was going to augment that message to say, attention borrower, by your signature, you are accepting the work that has been done, and you're acknowledging that you have viewed this work yourself, even if not performed at the time of the consultation. So come on, let's go. Taking a while. All right, hurry up. Okay, so while that's working, okay, hopefully it won't take too much longer. So while that's working, I just wanted to talk briefly about the program as far as we've actually made some other improvements to Genesis. So is that done yet? It's still not responding. So I want to go back out to the Genesis console. Okay, so now you can see that once you have submitted the draw to the lender, at that point, and only after it has actually been sent to the lender, you're going to hit the sign the PDF documents with my signature and finalize it. Now, once you finalize it, you can't make any changes, but you're not going to make any changes to that draw. You've sent it to the lender to pay. Okay? And so once you finalize this draw, now the contractor has the ability to go in and do his draw too. He can't process another draw until you finalize this current draw. So now this is actually, so now you can see a couple of things. One, we have the one completed draw here. Two, we have still have the copy of the contractor's originally submitted draw that is different from our completed draw. And three, we now have the ability to view the master summary of funds. Now, this is the master summary of funds that was created after the first draw. So you can see the amounts of the first draw are inserted. It tells you what the remaining balance is. It shows that no change orders have been processed. And the contingency has not been changed. This is a wonderful form to use when you want to confirm with the lender that the amounts that they show in the categories are consistent with what you have in your amounts. And there you can see that it says Summary of Funds 2. That's weird. Oh, okay, I don't know why that has that there. It must not have been my first, this must not have been my first draw. I thought it was. Let's see, draw. Yeah, I'm on draw 2. Let's see what happened. Did I put some numbers in or something by accident? No, that's weird. Okay, I'm not sure what that's about. I'll have Howard look into that. Because that shouldn't have even come up because draw 2 hasn't been processed, so there can't be a master summary of funds. So now I'm going to log out and I'm going to log back in as the contractor so that I can go in and start. So I'm not going to do that because time is at a premium, but now you'll be able to go back. The contractor will now see the ability to view submitted draw and to also enter his new draw. So I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to log out. I'm going to log back in. So you can see what the contractor is going to see. Ugh. I hate autofill. Let me turn that off. Bingo. So now what the contractor sees is draw request not submitted, and he now can put in his next draw. And now we see draw 2 of 3, and he can view what the previous amounts were in this column. So he can see what is now being put in, what was submitted by the consultant, and he can now see what he now has available to send in. Okay? So we're going to go back out, and we'll log out. So now settings for contractor. Here you can see signatures can be put into the project. Now we're working on making it so that the signatures go into his draw, but it really doesn't matter because we change it and we have to get the borrower's signature and the consultant's signature all on the same page. So I'm not even worrying about that. I'm more excited about using Acrobat to process my draws and my signatures. Okay? So let's see if my Acrobat has fixed itself. Let's see, I'll close this page. And let's see, where's it at? Bingo. Come on now. What is wrong? I don't know what is taking so long. All right, so it's not seeming, it seems like it's hanging somewhere, and I'm not sure why, because everything is correct. I was trying to change the message. I'll let it sit for a quick second. I can't seem to get out of it. But as you can see, I'm not sure why it didn't work. I want to show you the other way to process signatures. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to just kill it and show you how you can use the cloud-based program, which is the way that I had shown you in the other feature. So I'm not sure why this is hanging. So I'm just going to kill it so that we don't have to stand here and look at it. Okay, so what I did was I just killed it. All right, and so now what I want to show you is the way you can process your files. So you saved it and you have it in here. Now what you can do is, without going into, if you can close and save the file, or if someone sends you a file, you don't have to open Adobe. You can go to cloud.acrobat.com, and it will ask you to put your password in. I know what the problem is. I don't have, the sender account is not the same as the email account that I use for Adobe, so that's what hung it up. Yep, I get it now. So it was looking for a sender, but the sender account wasn't an Adobe Cloud account. That's my problem. Okay. So here's the other way you can process signatures in a very easy way, and it's very similar to the way that I had showed you before. You hit send for signature, just like before. And it's going to open up the e-sign. So you see it has a different look. So we're going to enter recipient email. So we're going to say chall@NAFAC. There you go. Then we're going to do and we're going to, you see how it says complete in order? And we're going to do now, I am the sender, this is the client, and this is the contractor. So the order that I want it to be, I'm going to reorder it, is so that it's the borrower, the contractor, and me, okay? And we can actually add a carbon copy and add the lender so they can see what's happening. All right, so now that's one of the features of using the actual cloud-based program. And if you are an Acrobat Pro member, you get this free. So now here, the agreement, now we're going to have to upload the file name. Let's put our file in. Choose from the computer, and there it is. And now the name goes there. Please review and complete sample project. Attention, and you can put the borrower's name, or you can just, make it a general. Attention, borrowers. Your electronic signature indicates your acceptance of all work performed and submitted in this draw request. We hope that you personally reviewed the work completed before executing this agreement. So I'm going to augment that. If you did not attend the draw inspection, comma, we hope that you personally reviewed the work completed before, actually just say review. Personally review the work completed before executing this agreement. So now I'm going to take this copy and I'm going to post this on the Skype group on the Power Team NAFAC. Wording for message to send with e-signature request as a disclaimer for borrower. who may not have attended the draw inspection. Okay? And so that's what it will look like. All right, so you guys like that? Raise your hand if you like that idea. Peggy likes it. I know she does. She's like, I like that. These people drive us crazy. Because they call us up saying, well, I didn't know what he put on there. Well, then you should have known, because we tell you that if you're not going to come to the inspection, you should either come before the inspection or come before you sign the form. So there that is now in Skype. And so now we've added our file. Preview and add signature fields. That's what we have to do next, using the cloud version, which I actually like it better than the version that's in. The only reason I like the one that's inside Acrobat is because it allows me to add text and stuff like that first. But I can add the text, save the document, then go to the cloud and do it here. And now you can see form fields were detected in this document. Click this button to place them. We don't want to. Okay, we're not placing form fields. We want it to look like a flat page with just like a copy page. So now we have our signature fields, and here's our recipient list. You've got the first signer, you've got you, and you've got everybody. So you have you as the pre-fill, okay, or you have you as the closed signer, okay? So this is where you want it pre-filled, which you never want your signature pre-filled. You want to sign it manually after it comes back. So this is where your signature goes in. So you just take and just select the recipient, and you just simply drag that there, okay? If you want to be picky, you can make it a little smaller to fit, okay? And then there's the date. Then the next page, you can stay on you as a recipient, and you're going to put that right here next to inspector. And again, you can shrink the field. And then you're going to go here to signature info field and add the date. Well, the date's already there, but you can put it in if you want, so we're not going to. Then you can select the next person, which is the borrower. And they're going to put their signature. Now, if you have two borrowers, you'll have that signature there, and then you'll select the next borrower as needed, and you're going to put their signature there, okay? So from now, if you have one borrower, you put his signature and the date. See, this is very much easier. You don't have to put the email. You put the email address in at one time. I actually find this a lot easier. Then you go to the contractor, his signature, his date. Scrolling down, you're going to sign the bottom, so it goes back to you. Select you. Then you're going to put your signature. Move it over a little bit so I can add the date. Scroll down to the next page, and this is where the contractor now signs. Test contractor is going to put his signature. Okay, and next to it's going to be, now the date's already there, so you don't have to put this date there. Then you're going to put his printed name and his title. Nothing else is necessary. So now the contractor needed to sign this as well. So we're going to put his signature here. And then under here, we're going to put the borrower, and we're going to put a signature block. That actually requires them to put their signature, the date, and their email. So that's what a signature block looks like, so we don't need that. We're just going to put the signature, and then we're going to basically put the borrower's name underneath it, and the date. And so that's all the pages we need to sign. So now we're going to hit send. Okay? Now the next thing you want to do is set a reminder. So you go to the Manage page. And now you can actually share this file so they can view it and its current signature status. So you can send this to lender@lender.com. So I'll just put another email address in. So I'll put in 203kqueen@nafac.org. So hello, attached is the draw request that has been submitted for electronic signature to the borrower and contractor. You are now able to see the status of the signing process for this draw. Once all signatures are received, I will formally submit it to you. So raise your hand if you'd like me to put this text in the Skype group for you to be able to use for sending to the lenders. Oh, hands went up. So here we go. Text to send with CC'd copy of signature files to lender. Not sure what this means? Watch the June 2017 tech call. All right, let's go back. So now we can share the agreement. It's called an agreement. And now we're going to hit a reminder so that all parties will be reminded. This is the lender. So we're going to remind all parties and myself every day until it's completed. So when it first is processed, they get an email saying, you've got a document to sign. Then after they do that, then it's going to be every day until they complete it. And you can put the comment, please complete the attached draw paperwork to expedite contractor disbursement. So here's what it would look like. Please complete the attached draw paperwork to expedite contractor disbursement. Then your name, once again, I'm all about branding, has requested that this reminder be sent. This reminder will be resent every day until completed. So, bingo, set reminder. So now everything is done. So now let's go out to my inbox. And I'm going to refresh the screen. And there you can see I'm logged in as Catherine Hall 203K Queen. And so here you can see Catherine Hall, attached as a draw request has been submitted for electronic signature to the borrower and contractor. You're now able to see the status of the signing process for this draw. Once all signatures are received, I will formally submit it to you. And so attached is a copy of the sample draw and one more for your records. Click here to view this document so they can download it, but it's not signed. And then you can hit click here and you can see the sample of the document. And they can go online and see that it was sent out for signature, it was shared with the lender, and it's waiting to be signed, will be sent for signature, will be sent. So you see, because I'm logged in, it allows me to replace the signer and upload. I can do all that, but the person who is on here would not be able to see that, but they can see all the pages and they can see that signatures have not been submitted. Okay? So we can close this out. So I'm going to delete this email. That was the email that I got as the now you see that my Catherine Hall at NAFAC email has not been requested to sign yet because the next person that needs to sign is me as the borrower. So I'm going to log in that account. See why I have 1,700 email accounts? Let's put this in. And I'm logging in. Going to Gmail. And there you can see the email, please sign sample project. And so here's the email with your name, sent you a sample project, completed draw 1. Attention borrowers, your electronic signature indicates blah, blah, blah. Click here to review and sign. After you sign the agreement, the agreement will be sent to the contractor, and then your name there, consultant, so say your name, then all parties will receive a final PDF copy by email. So now you don't have to worry about sending copies to anybody of the completed email. They'll automatically get it. So you see, Acrobat does a lot of things. And again, I'm not trying to bash any other system. DocuSign is great, but Acrobat is very complete. How many of you agree that this is actually very comprehensive? So now you're currently logged in as 203K. In order to view the document, I have to log out. So I'm going to sign out. So I'm going to go back out to that email because I couldn't be signed in. So now I'm going to go back here. You don't have to have an account to use this. So you see, this is a message from Catherine. So this is the cool part. That message pops up again and tells the borrower, I hope you looked at this before you paid it. Because see the little message? That pops up. I hope you viewed this. And I might even change the word from we strongly suggest, or we recommend that you personally, or we are assuming, or we are expecting that. So you might want to change some of that, a little stronger wording. So now you see the little start button. So all these pages they can look at, but if they just want to go right to where they have to sign, which most of them do, you hit start, and then it goes right there. And see where it says next? And that's the next one they have to sign. So this is the first one. You didn't sign this, so please sign. So now it allows them to, if they're doing this from their phone, they can create a mobile signature on their device that will automatically be inserted. Okay? So a mobile device to easily draw or capture your signature, a link will be sent to your mobile device. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, great tool for you to use if you're trying to create your e-signature for Genesis, okay? But they can simply type all right, and so it says borrow, they can actually draw it, they can actually handwrite. Okay, or if they already have an electronic signature, they can upload it. So we're going to hit apply. So there you can see it's squishy, but it's there. And there is the date. And the date is actually showing underneath it. You'll see it later. Then we hit next. And then we're going to click it, and it will put the same signature in. And now that they've signed all places, the button comes up to say click to sign. Now, they can download a copy of it if they want, or they can just ignore it because they will get a downloaded copy. So now I'm going to close that, and I'm going to open up the email account of Test Contractor. So we're almost done. We have about 2 minutes left. And hit next. Oh, that's not the password. Hold on, I got to get that password. Okay. Bingo. Enter the verification code sent to your phone. Duh. Okay. The city I usually sign in from is Norristown. Okay, great. Done. We're not going to worry about that. Now we're loading it in. And there, we're going to so why didn't that come up? Okay, so let's see what we have here. Let's check all mail. That's a new sign-in. I don't know why that's not processed. Let's see what's going on here. So let's go back. All right, so it should be sent directly to the next person on the recipient list, which was Test Contractor, unless I screwed it up. test contractor at nafdac.org. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and view the history, see what's going on. This is the last thing. Oh, that's right, I log in. Okay. And this is the last thing we're going to do because it is 9:30. So let's go to history. Send out for signature. Document shared with 203K Queen. Viewed by borrower. Document e-signed by borrower will be sent for signature too. All right, so it just may not have gotten out there yet. Okay, so we're just going to refresh the screen and see if it comes up. Well, it hasn't come up yet, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to stop our call now for today. It will go to the contractor. He'll sign it. Then it'll come back to you for signature. Then you'll get a completed document, and then you can upload it to the lender. So it is 9:31. I try not to exceed 9:30 at all costs. Forgive me. So any questions, anybody? Please Skype them to me on the Skype Genesis group or the NAFDAC group. I hope this was of value to you today. And remember, our next coaching call is the 4th Thursday of this month. And our October event is October 8th through the 10th, 2017. So thank you all so much for being on the call today. And I will see you on the 4th Thursday or a one-on-one call soon. Good morning, everyone, and make it a great day. Until I'm able to support you in the future, be outstanding.